Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another lecture of EE434. We were studying the Cauchy square wave inverters and we studied that the use of Cauchy square inverter is very helpful in getting rid of selected harmonic elimination by varying the delay angle alpha. What happens if we do a little bit of manipulation in the system scheme and connect two Cauchy square wave inverter in series? In fact, we will get a result which is known to be a multi-level output voltage. So let us discuss the multi-level inverters. Multi-level schemes produce an output voltage which have more output voltage levels compared to the H-bridge square wave inverter or that of a Cauchy square wave inverter. It is because if we have multiple output levels available, then the output voltage resembles more like a sinusoidal waveform and therefore its power quality is better than compared to these two converters. So for instance, if we have, if we let us say we have this voltage source available, it is connected with a with a inverter here. Let us now discuss about the inverter type here. Instead, we say that we have this positive here and we have this negative here. This is VDC1, which is the DC voltage source for the first inverter, and let us have another inverter here. It is connected with another voltage source, which is of course a DC voltage source. We call this one as VDC2, and it also has an output which is measured in this positive and negative terminals. So the first circuit manipulation that we can do with this particular scheme is to connect these two terminals together and connect the output load somewhere here. So in this way, this plus minus gives us V01, this gives us V02, and overall we get an output voltage which is taken with this particular point as the positive potential and this point as the negative potential. Now what happens if these two inverters are square wave inverters? For instance, if we have these two square wave inverters, then we might have an output voltage something like this one for this first inverter. So this is V01 and this is V02. Let us say these are perfectly synchronized. So whenever we are getting V01 here, we are getting this V02 here. In that particular case, the series connection just brings up the sum of the voltage, sum of these two independent voltages across this resistance R, which is considered a load here. So with this plus and negative sign, because it makes a series connection, so the output voltage becomes equal to twice the voltage which is V01 or V02, or we can say that this V0 is a sum of voltage V01 and V02. We can see that it is not possible to get an output voltage with multiple output voltage level. Instead, this particular connection that is based on the square wave inverter only, this only boosts the output voltage to a level which is a sum of the voltages that are produced at the output of the individual square wave inverters, which are this V01 and V02. So that is just an output combination that combines this V01 and V02. But what happens if we have, instead of having a square wave inverter, let us say we have this one, a quasi square wave inverter, and this one is also a quasi square wave inverter. Now to get rid of the same situation that we are facing with this concept of two square wave inverter connected in cascade or they are connected in series, we can have two quasi square wave inverters with different values of alpha or the delay angle to produce an output voltage that has more number of output voltage levels across the load. So let us consider this one. Let us say that for the first inverter, we have, let me get rid of these lines here. So if we have this quasi square wave inverter available, let me first of all draw the the individual waveforms of these full bridge inverter circuits that are operated as a Cauchy square wave inverters. So here we have, this is V01. Let us say we have a delay angle. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the delay angle alpha. Here we have this is the pi. This is pi minus alpha. This is alpha, and then we have the output voltage here. So this is V01. Let us say this is alpha 1, just to distinguish it with the output which is coming from this Cauchy square wave inverter number 2. So this is inverter number 1, this is inverter number 2. Here we have, let us say we have the this type of an output. We have this type of an output. This is alpha 2, this is pi minus alpha 2, this is again pi, this is pi plus alpha 2, and here we have somewhere here, this is 2 pi. This is 2 pi. Now if we connect these two in series, then we get an output voltage which has multiple output voltages. For instance, from 0 to alpha 1, neither of these two individual Cauchy square inverters are producing any voltage. So therefore, the output voltage is 0 here. The output voltage is 0 here. From this alpha 1 to this alpha 2, we have, from this alpha 1 to alpha 2, V01 has an output voltage which is equal to VDC. So the output voltage is VDC plus 0, and therefore the output voltage is VDC here, and that is from alpha 1 to alpha 2. After this alpha 2, this output of this Cauchy square wave inverter number 2 is also producing a voltage that is equal to this VDC. So VDC plus VDC gives me a voltage that is twice the individual level voltage. Thereafter, at pi minus alpha 2, the output of this Cauchy square wave inverter becomes 0, and thereby reducing the voltage across this output equal to this VDC. And thereafter, pi minus alpha 1, it become equal to 0, and it goes on to somewhere here, after which we have this negative half cycles. So in these negative half cycles, we again see the same trend here, that for this much period of time we have twice the output voltage, after which the output voltage become equal to this VDC, and after when this output of this Cauchy square inverter number 1 becomes 0, the net voltage across the output become equal to 0. Now if you see here, across this particular resistance R, the voltage level have actually increased. In fact, the number of the output voltage levels is greater than the total number of independent DC sources plus 1. So if we have these two, VDC1 and this VDC2, then the number of output voltage which I can say that this number of output voltage, let us say this is M, is equal to 2S plus 1, where S is the number of voltage sources, right? So with these two independent voltage sources connected here, VDC1 and VDC2, we are getting 5 voltage levels for this output voltage. How we are getting this one? Here we have this 0, this is VDC, this is 2 VDC, this is again VDC, this is 0, this is 0, this is minus VDC, this is minus 2 VDC, and you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 5 output voltage levels that are possible to obtain using this cascaded connection of two Cauchy square wave inverters with different values of the delay angle alpha. So we can say that these two produces an output voltage that are possible, which is 2 VDC, VDC 0, minus VDC, and minus 2 VDC. So this output voltage level, with the increment in the output voltage level, we have seen that the waveform is now of a much similar shape to that of an ideal sine wave. It is much more now in a closer form compared to the Cauchy square wave inverter or compared to a square wave inverter. So the Fourier analysis of this particular waveform reveals that the output voltage V naught, which is available here. So if we perform the Fourier analysis, then the Fourier series of V naught is given as follows, that V naught of t is equal to 4 VDC over n pi, and we have only the odd harmonics, so 1, 3, 5, 7 up till infinity. So we have this cosine n alpha 1 plus cosine n alpha 2 into sine n omega naught t over n. So this is the Fourier series for this particular cascaded connection of two Cauchy square wave inverters. The coefficient of this Fourier series can be calculated by using this particular expression, that Vn is equal to 4 VDC over n pi into cosine n alpha 1 plus cosine n alpha 2, where the value where we have n equals to 1, 3, 5, 7 and so on and so forth. Now if we see here that this particular scheme has two different values of alpha, therefore the cumulative effect of the selection of alpha can result in the elimination of harmonics from this particular system. But for that we first need to define an interesting thing, that here we have the modulation index Mi, which is actually the ratio of, let me write it here, which is ratio of amplitude of the fundamental component to the which is the ratio of the amplitude of fundamental component of V naught to the fundamental component of a square wave of amplitude 2 VDC, which is 2 into 4 VDC over, which is 2 into 4 VDC over pi. So this Mi is equal to V1, which is the fundamental component of the output voltage V naught t, divided by 2 into 4 VDC over pi, and that is equal to cos alpha 1, because n is equal to 1, plus cos alpha 2 divided by 2. So this alpha 1 and alpha 2 are the key factors in eliminating the selected harmonics from this particular system. So we can choose these alpha 1 and alpha 2 such that we have cosine m alpha 1 plus cosine m alpha 2 becomes equal to 0. But the problem here is that if we adjust this alpha 1 and alpha 2, then this Mi gets disturbed, and therefore we also need to see that this 2 Mi should be equal to cosine alpha 1 plus cosine alpha 2. Now the solution of these equations is not a trivial solution, and numerical analysis methods are required to simultaneously solve these two problems such that the selected harmonics can be eliminated. Now this particular concept of having a cascaded connection is quite generic, and it can be used to produce output voltage with more than 5 different levels. For instance, we can have 3 different voltage sources connected with 3 different values of the delay angles that will produce an output voltage which will give you 6 plus 1, we will get 7 different output voltage at the output. So using this generic concept, we can actually develop an output waveform with much more output voltage levels across the load. But the point here is, what are the advantages and disadvantages of using a cascaded connection of two quasi-square wave inverter? You see, the very first advantage here is, let us write down the advantages here. The advantages are quite simple. The first advantage is that the total number of output voltage level is more than twice the number of the DC sources. So we have M is equal to 2s plus 1. This is the first advantage. The second advantage is that this concept is very modular. Modular means that the packaging as well as the manufacturing of these multi-level inverters is quite simple. We require to have an HV circuit, the outputs of which are connected in series to obtain an output voltage with specified number of voltage levels. So the concept is very modularized. Which is very helpful in packaging and in the design phase. The overall development is not only fast but also cost effective, right? These are the advantages here. What about the disadvantages of this particular scheme? Let us write down the disadvantages here. The first disadvantage is independent voltage sources are required, which means that this particular scheme is quite feasible if we have lot of renewable energy sources connected, or if we have the batteries available, right? What about if we have a single voltage source available? In that particular case, we may not be able to use this particular scheme. So independent voltage sources are available. That is the requirement of this particular scheme. But there is a far more difficult challenge in the output of these cascaded connections. For example, if you look on to this particular diagram, this output voltage V01, which is this one, is operating for a time which is greater than the power supplied by the quasi-square wave inverter number 2. So this is quasi-square wave inverter number 2, this is quasi-square wave inverter number 1. Suppose that we have, this is also a battery, this is also a battery, and these two batteries are used to supply power to the resistance R. Now if you see here, the area under this V01 is greater than the area under the V02 curve, as you can see here, which means that the average power supplied by the cohesive square wave inverter number 1 is greater than the average power which is supplied by the cohesive square wave inverter number 2, which means if we are using if we are using two different batteries for these two inverters, then the batteries which is connected with this inverter number 1 will deplete at a rate faster than that of the battery which is connected with the cohesive square wave inverter number 2. So unequal average power sharing is actually a big problem in these particular kind of cascaded H-bridge inverters. So let us write down here that the disadvantage is the second disadvantage, which is a far more dangerous disadvantage, is the unequal power sharing among the sources. Fortunately, researchers have developed techniques for equal power sharing mechanism for each of the independent voltage sources which are used in this series or cascaded connection of cohesive square wave inverter. One interesting solution is known as the pattern swapping or duty swapping method, right? Both of these two methods are intended to generate or to deliver equal power from the DC sources to the load. Now the scheme is quite simple. The scheme is that if this is alpha 1 and this is, here we have the pi, so 1 2 3 4 5, here we have this is equal to 2 pi, and here we have, this is, let us say this is V01, this is V02, so this is alpha 1, this is pi minus alpha 1, let us say this is alpha 2, this is pi minus alpha 2. For each half cycle, we swap the values of alpha for the individual cohesive square wave inverters. So the cohesive square wave inverter number 1 shall have a value of alpha 1 for the positive half cycle. However, during the negative half cycle, it will not operate at the same value of alpha. Rather, it will operate at a value equals to alpha 2. So this waveform shall have this type of an output, whereas this has an output here which is something like this one. So this V02 and V01 have now equal area under this curve for one complete switching cycle. The output voltage is still the same. If we can draw the output voltage, it is exactly the same. So the output voltage here is, this is VDC, here we have this 2 VDC, again here we have the same voltage 0 here, and we have this voltage available, then this becomes 2 VDC, come back to again VDC, and here we ends up the switching cycle. So we again have the same voltage levels at the output, but with this particular scheme which is known as the pattern swapping or duty swapping scheme, the voltage sharing or average power sharing is equalized for both the independent voltage sources which are available, right? So this is an interesting thing here. The second important point here is that this is for a two-stage inverter. If we want to implement this same pattern swapping or duty swapping scheme for a circuit where we have 5 different independent voltage sources available, then it will require 5 cycles for the power to equally shared among the different sources. So let me write down here that for a 5 source multi-level inverter a similar pattern swapping scheme requires 5 cycles to equalize the average power shared. This is one way of developing an average power shared or to have an average power sharing among the two different sources. There is another scheme available as well. There are another method available as well. That is, we use the voltage sources with different values. So use different voltage sources rather than having the same values. You can use different voltage sources amplitudes. Now the output voltage could still be a staircase, but the voltage levels will not be of the uniform increments in the system. However, using this particular criteria, if we have the voltage sources available, for example, Vs1 has a voltage greater than this Vs2, we still have an output voltage which is a sum of the voltage output of the Cauchy-Square wave inverter number 1 and the Cauchy-Square wave inverter number 2, but the increments will not be the uniform. So, and also the Fourier series shall have a different spectrum there. So these are two methods through which we can actually equalize the power sharing mechanism among the two Cauchy-Square wave inverter sources. Now, as you can see here, the independent we have discussed that independent voltage sources are required for these type of multi-level inverters. Although that we will not go deep into the different types of multi-level inverter, it's a whole new ball game, and a lot of different topologies of multi-level inverter exist in literature. We will just go through another type of a multi-level inverter that is particularly useful if we have a single voltage source available, but yet we want to have multiple output voltage levels across the output, and that is by a technique which is known as a diode clamped multi-level inverter. Now this diode clamped multi-level inverter has only a single voltage source. So here we have let us say we have this is the voltage source available. It is connected with these two capacitors. Let us say this is C1, we have this capacitor C2, and we have the switches something like this one. So these are of course the bidirectional switches. So I am not drawing full schematic for these bidirectional switches. Rather, I just want to tell you that we have these two capacitors available. This is VDC. Half of this VDC will appear across this capacitor, and half of the VDC shall appear across this particular capacitor. So we have this switch S1, this is switch S2, this is switch S3, this is switch S4, and then we have this switch S5, S6, S7, S8, and here we get the output voltage. This is plus and this is minus, this is V naught. We require to have four diodes. So the first diode is connected here, right? The second one is connected in this midpoint here. Then we also require to have this, and on the similar ground we have another diode connected here. So you can see here that each leg, this is leg 1 or leg A, and let us say this is leg B. Each leg contains twice the number of the switches compared to an H-bridge inverter. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 switches available, and 4 switches are also available in this leg B. Also, we require to have these 4 additional diodes here. So the logic is, although the logic is simple, but we still have a number of components which are required to generate a multi-level output available here. We will discuss this case for this leg number 1A here only, and that will suffice for the complete operation of the inverter scheme. So in this mod 1, let us say we have this in mod 1, we connect the S1 and S2 with the gate driver circuit such that they become on, and we turn off these switches S3 and S4. When we do this thing, then the overall circuit becomes something like this one. This is S1, this is on, this is S2, this is on. Here we have the output voltage V0. This is S3, this is off, and also we have the S4, this is also off. When this S1 and S2 are on, then this particular midpoint is now connected with this VDC, and therefore this diode is also off. So this diode is off, it is reverse biased. Also we have this S4, it is also reverse biased. So we have this S4 is also off. So what is the output voltage here? This V0 is equal to this VDC. Let me write it here. The diodes are off for, and both of the diodes which are connected with this leg number A, they are both of them are off. In mod 2, we turn on S3 and S4, we turn on them, and S1 and S2 are turned off. So when these S1 and S2 are off, then we have some sort of a circuit. This is off, S1 is off, S2 is off. However, this S3 is on, and this S4 is on. So this V0 is equal to 0, because now this V0 is connected with this ground terminal. So we have 0 output available. Again, the diodes are off for this leg A. For the third scheme, for the third mod, let us say we have mod 3 available here. S2 and S3 are on, while we turn off the switches S1 and S4, they are completely off. In this particular scheme, we have, let me just redraw these two switches. This is S1, this is also on, this is also on. So we have this S3 on, we have this S4 off. So this V is equal to half of the VDC. So V0 is equal to half of the VDC. In the similar scheme, this means that in 3 different steps we can actually generate an output voltage with 5 different output voltage levels. That is, VDC is available, 0 is available, half of the VDC is available, and also by using the combination of the leg B, we have minus VDC available, we have 0 available, and minus 1/2 VDC are available across the output voltage levels. We can also actually introduce the alpha 1 and alpha 2 to get rid of the selected harmonics here. And moreover, you can see that although with a single voltage source we have managed to generate an output voltage with multiple voltage levels, but this scheme requires a lot of components compared to an HV circuit. So compared to an HV circuit, one of the salient feature is that we have more number of components available, and this number of components is very much dependent on the output voltage levels that are desired in a given scheme. So number of components are high compared to an H bridge, but the advantage here is that we have 2 switches are off in a given mod, and therefore voltage blocking is reduced to half compared to a compared to an H bridge inverter. So that's all for the today's lecture. We will try to upload the simulation part of the Quasi square wave inverter as well. Till the next lecture, take care and Allah Hafiz.